What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're working on my 1972 Ford F-100 four-wheel drive pickup Yogi. Boom. Got a nice fire going. Got lunch in our belly. It's time to get to work. Y'all, let's go. All right. So the plan for the truck really focuses on just general cleanup. It's going to stay a patina four-wheel drive truck, but I want to add some features to it that really are kind of like period correct, just cool old Ford, four-wheel drive pickup stuff. So let me talk to you about what I got planned for it. So I've got a set of cab lights planned for it. Going to swap out the mirrors I've got some of those West Coast Junior, I think it is, original tow mirrors. Those are going to look awesome. I had those on an F-250 back in the day and I loved it. And a set of original bumper guards that will go on the front here too. Going to eventually change up the wheel and tire package on here. These are 33 by 10.5s. I love the stance, but I want to get them sitting on stock wheels. I've got a set of I can't remember if they're 80s or 90s, but anyways, got a four-wheel drive dog dish style center caps that will go on here too. So I'll get steel wheels all painted up and get a new set of tires on there. They still have a little bit of life in them, but anyways, probably get some new tires going. Got a whole pile of parts in here. All this is for that seat cover. I also picked up a F500, F600 gauge cluster that I hopefully will run in this thing here. Super pumped about that. But yeah, just a whole slew of goodies going to get rolling on this thing. So y'all stay tuned. Let's get to work. All right, so let's get started. One of the first things I'm going to take care of in here, I mean, there's any number of places I could and should probably start, but I am going to start with this gauge cluster here. I'm not going to go ahead and swap in that other one yet, but I do want to get this one pulled out. I mean, you can see here that plastic, you can barely see through that. So I want to get that pulled out and see if I can't clean it up just so the gauges are, you can actually read them. And then going to take care of this brake pedal here. I'm not sure what's going on, if it's a worn out bushing or if there's a return spring. I haven't really dug into the pedal assembly yet, but what's happening is that pedal is sitting, it's not pulling up all the way, not returning to the top position on its own. So it's got this bungee here pulled up because otherwise the brake lights stay on all the time. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of this bootleg contraption here. And then got some pretty decent sized holes there on that side, so we're gonna get those patched up somehow or another. I'm not quite sure how I wanted to do it yet. I've got license plates. I've got some old signs. I may break down and buy a floorboard, like an actual floorboard, and just tack on it in place. I'm not sure, but we'll see. Yeah, other than that, it's just got to get started on this initial cleanup. Okay, so I've already been under the dash. I unscrewed the speedometer cable and pulled out. There was only three screws holding this cluster in, so it does slide out easily now. And you can see, I think it has just one harness connection on it back there. Get that unclipped and take it off. There we go. Voila. That was easy. Yeah, it was just that one pin there. Wiring looks decent. It doesn't look like somebody's been here doing too much through the years. I'm pretty happy with that. All right, let's go get this thing cleaned up. Gauge cluster sitting here on the bench. Now, this is, I forget what year they switched, but somewhere in the bump side series, they changed the the back of the instrument cluster here to this circuit style rather than the pin connector style. I picked up a number of these gauge clusters through the years, and this happens to be the only one that I have from the later series. Every other one that I have here, as you can see, these others, these are a little bit better condition, but these are the earlier style that have the actual pin connector rather than the circuit board. So reason I share that is because I've also collected a couple of these like heavy duty truck. These came in, as I understood, like the F500, F600 series trucks. Really, really cool gauge clusters here. You know, with speedometer, you know, the round gauges, the tachometer, the tachs. I think were all mechanically ran rather than like electronically. So I don't know that we can ever, you know, may have difficulty getting a tach going ever one day. But I already did one of these swaps into Marvin, my 70 F100, and I love the way it looks. It's just super classic. I want to do this in the four-wheel drive as well, but as you can see, it's got the pin connector on it. Now, I went out there and I studied the wiring harness, and I think I'd read this before, but I think the wiring is essentially the same on the pins. So I have this one here came with a whip. Somebody actually cut it out of the vehicle and then sent the connector pin with it. So we're just studying this, and I mean, I think eventually what I'll do is cut that harness in the truck and wire it into this. Not what I'm doing today, but that's what it'll take to accomplish this. You know, the gauge cluster swap. So eventually we'll do that. Today, going to stay focused on this guy here, getting the lens cleaned up. May swap one if I can't get it clean enough, or you know, just kind of piece together kind of the best assembly that I can with this and get this back in the truck. Yeah, that looks good. Should probably change the light bulbs when I'm in there. Intermediate piece. This looks good too. The black's in good condition. All right, here's what we're after. I don't know if this is like glued in or taped in or just set here. Ah, I see some pins, like a locating pin. There we go. This is the culprit. So, backside's fine. Front side is a little worse for wear. Man, you can feel this, the crud piled on that. So, all right, this is what we're going to get kind of cleaned up and maybe polished, you know, so that we... so that way we can actually see through the dang gauges. So, yep. All right. Let's get this lens all cleaned up. Okay. That's clean. It's definitely just discoloration in it. So, I'm going to attempt to polish it. I have no idea. This is probably all the wrong stuff. But we've got a Meguiar's Ultimate Compound before and after. Ooh. So let's give this a try, huh? Probably need something with more grit to it. But let's wipe that down, see what, if any, difference there is. Nope. Smooth though. Okay, let me think on this for a minute. All right, slight change of plans. Actually went and just took the lens out of one of the other clusters I had. That other one was really pretty bad, pretty faded. None of the product here that I had was doing anything. So I resorted to trying some wet sandpaper on it, which just made it super hazy. I'm sure I could bring it back with varying degrees, like legitimate polishing, with increasing the grit and compound and all that. I don't have any of that stuff. I do have an extra lens. Clean this guy up pretty good. This is going to work just fine. Okay, I had to take a break from the instrument cluster for a moment to let GoPro and all that download the media. And while I was waiting, I got started. I got taking a look into the brakes and what was going on there, and I found that the pedal assembly had play between the brake pedal and the push rod for the master cylinder. Got doing some investigation and started looking at it. Found where the wiggle was actually the push rod was missing this bushing. So went digging through the parts. Had an old master cylinder here. I think this one was actually from my Fairlane, but the shoulder was still in it, or that bushing was still in it. So popped the bushing out. This guy fits on here. One-handed. Yeah, fits on there relatively tight. Really no play at all. So I'm gonna go put this back in, and hopefully that takes care of the brake light issue, and I can ditch that stupid blue bungee cord. Let's see. Everything seems to be good now. So I've got the new, the bushing installed on the bolt, and then kept messing around with it, realizing the brake lights were still coming on. So I took a look at the brake light switch that was on it, attempted adjusting it, and the thing just completely fell apart. So good thing is I had a spare, have a couple spares actually on the some other pedal assemblies that I have sitting in the shed. So was able to get one out and got it all adjusted in there. I don't know if you guys can see, and much to look at. Put a lock washer on it as well, and brake returns on its own. No more bungee cord. Maybe you can see the reflection of the bumper on the forend or not. Brake lights on, brake lights off. Brake lights on, brake lights off. Here we go. One thing done. So I had an old dash pad from Marvin, my 70 F100. As you can see, it's pretty well cracked and all that, but I'm gonna paint this thing up with I've got this Duplicolor vinyl paint, and then I've got a carpet kind of topper that they sell specifically to cover the cracks. Yeah, I think this will work just fine. Temp's dropping a little bit, so probably shouldn't be out here painting, but I can't stop myself. Here we go. Light coats. Okay, gonna give that a couple minutes and hit it again. All right, y'all. Next day here. Let me show you the progress that we made from yesterday. All right. What we're looking at here is the original dash that was in my 1970 F100 some time ago. Obviously cracked, and we replaced this. Actually, when we replaced the cab on the truck, the dash that was installed in the new cab was in much better shape. So this has been in storage for, I don't know, 10 plus years, honestly. It was maroon. Prepped it, painted it yesterday with this Duplicolor vinyl and fabric paint, and by all accounts, it turned out pretty dang well. So the plan is to run that with, let's see if I can do this one-handed. You know, some sort of simple dash pad. You get the idea. So mean, it's going to cover up most of it, honestly. And I think will look just fine in the truck. Went rummaging through the parts bins that I, in storage that I have. Got new visors. Got some better trim for the headliner. Got a mirror and just odds and ends, bezels and whatnot. So really taking the budget approach with this truck and trying to use what I already have from some of the other projects I had through the years. Here is a look at the instrument bezel from yesterday. So just really, kind of picked and pulled parts. I had, a couple of these old bezels, and just cleaned it up, and that's a heck of a lot better than what it ever was. Still wish this was kind of all cleaned up and painted. I don't want to fuss with it now. I tried painting one of them earlier. It wasn't turning out right, so backburnered that and just going to run this for now. Again, old patina truck. It'll work just fine. Anyhow, take y'all with me. I'm going to go back out there, show you what we've done inside the truck so far. Yeah, how we're looking inside the rig. So I've got the dash kind of cleaned up and ready, opened up. So I've got access to all the points there to bolt the new dash pad down. Got the headliner pulled down. That thing was scuzzy, nasty. I'm going to get these visors pulled down too, and like I said, replace them with the black ones, probably paint the little plastic pieces, just get it all ready to rock. But super happy. The roof is in really, really good shape. And the Sequoia brown, obviously the original color of the truck, looks great. Got boxwood green showing through. So truck was apparently green at one point in time in its life, but started brown. Down here on the floor, probably go ahead and get this with some license plates or some old signs or something. Go ahead and get this sealed up, and then still hunting around for some sort of vinyl floor mat. Another coat of paint on the dashboard. So while that's drying, I figure I'll go ahead and get started on these floors. Got a handful of these license plates here. Nothing too exciting, but just all Georgia plates. I'm going to get these placed in here in some sort of fashion. I think I can put this guy here, do another one there with a bend to it, maybe do a couple down this way, tie them all together, and that'll cover the holes. Voila, there you have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plates down, fixed. It's got a little flex to it. There ain't no holes. That's what you get with a patina truck.